Hello everybody and welcome to Sarah's Spot. We are on the buyer process right now in week 4, the final week. So we're going to talk about what happens from the time of your inspection being satisfied to getting your keys. Now that generally takes up the second half of your whole closing period. And right now closing takes about 45 days. So you've had your inspection kind of right up front, and you've negotiated those repairs or asked for price reduction or what have you, hopefully trying to stay reasonable with what you've asked for in repairs, what you can handle on your own, and you've used your real estate agent for advice. So your inspection contingency is satisfied. Everybody's happy. Now your appraisal gets ordered, most often. Sometimes it happens right away if you're on a time crunch. But mostly you want to wait until you've satisfied that inspection because you might not be able to move forward or come to an agreement with the seller at that point. So after that's done, then you order the appraisal. Now the bank is going to send out an appraiser. They're going to take a look inside the property, in the roof, in the crawl space, just like your inspector did, and they're going to notice basically the same things that the inspector did. So that's why we ask for repairs. We do need to have some of those things clarified, or they're going to delay the process for the bank. But the appraiser is going to give you the fair market value of that property, which is great to have as a record for yourself. They're going to send that to you, and as long as the appraiser says the property is worth at or above what you're purchasing it for, then you're golden. Now, obviously, your real estate agent has helped you realize the fair market value of this property, so most often there isn't an issue. Most often, you're walking into the home with a little bit of equity, which is wonderful. So, after the appraisal's been done, you've gotten your report and A-OK to move forward, things kind of get quiet. Now, this is tough for a lot of people, so I'll give you a couple of homework tips for during this process when things kind of get quiet. I would call your utilities and get those switched, because that does need to happen for day of closing, so that you have electricity and water running. Another thing to do is make sure you've already shopped around for your home insurance. There's all sorts of different companies and rates that you can find. So your lender's going to need to know that kind of early on right now. So that's another thing that you can be doing on your own. And also home warranties. If you wanted to purchase one for the home for a year, that's a great option to do as well. So you've done your homework and you've waited until closing day. Now, TRID, which is the new government regulation that requires lender information to be sent to the borrower 3 days prior to closing, that needs to take place. So you count backwards from your closing date, 1, 2, 3 days, and that's when you should have your paperwork in hand, which is all of what you're lending, your interest rate. It's very detail oriented, and it's really helpful for you to go over that information, and now you have 3 days to do so. So do your homework. Look it over, make sure everything looks good. Then you have to wait those 3 days to get to closing and signing. So you show up at your escrow company's office, or they send somebody to you if you need a mobile signing, and you go ahead and you sign your documents. Sometimes those documents can be 30 pages or 90 pages. It just depends. So allow yourself at least a half hour to write your John Hancock on every signature, every page. So you sign, and then the funds come in from your lender, and then the title company and the escrow company releases to record, and they have to record the new title in your name. So you wait until you have recording numbers to finalize closing. That's the final step. Then, and only after all those things have happened, can your real estate agent give you those keys. So keep that in mind. You do need to be flexible that day. A lot is happening on that one day, and it can be highly pressurized if you've already packed your things and they're in the moving truck. So word to the wise, just make sure that you understand that things might not happen on that day, but if there's a delay, have a plan B, have a place to stay that night just in case, and maybe schedule your moving for a couple days after closing, just to be safe. But everybody is working very, very hard that day to get you in your new house. So And one last tip, during escrow, make sure that you don't incur any large debt, because the bank will be requiring updated bank statements. So just make sure, if you wanted to purchase that furniture, the new couch for your house, do it afterwards, do it after closing, because it will affect your credit score, especially if you financed it. So just a word to the wise, keep that in mind. And again, thanks for stopping in. I hope you learned something about escrow, how it tastes, feels, and smells. Now you can withstand the trials of escrow. All right, I'll talk to you guys next week, and see you soon. Bye.